Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into the Academy curriculum to explore something pretty amazing, how the microscopic world of atoms actually points to a purposeful, divine design. We're going to look at everything from invisible, tiny particles to massive chemical reactions. And honestly, it's not just about memorizing facts for a test. It's about seeing a grand, intentional design in the everyday objects you interact with all the time. Let's get into it. Okay, really quick, here's our roadmap for today. 1. The blueprint of creation. 2. Elements and compounds. 3. Making sense of mixtures. And 4. Education, morality, and peace.
Starting off with Section 1, the blueprint of creation.
So, the curriculum starts by zooming way out to a massive idea. Basically, all matter, from the dirt out in your backyard to pure gold in a jewelry store, is intentionally categorized. Whether you're baking chocolate chip cookies, mixing up some lemonade on a hot summer day, or testing a soil sample in the lab, you are working with matter. The text actually points us to John chapter 1, verse 3, to illustrate that these properties of matter aren't just random accidents. They're part of a deliberate creation. The source explains that when we understand how to classify these substances, we can predict exactly how they'll behave. It turns what might look like a chaotic world into a wonderfully organized system that operates under a divine, unchanging rulebook.
Moving right along to Section 2, elements and compounds.
Okay, so an element is a pure substance. It's made of only one kind of atom, and here's the kicker. It absolutely cannot be broken down into simpler substances through normal chemistry. If you're holding a pure gold ring, you are holding an element made entirely of gold atoms, created with specific properties that make it shiny, bendable, and obviously highly valuable. And hey, fun fact, all the gold ever mined in human history would fit into just 3 Olympic-sized swimming pools? To put that in perspective, that gold is an element. It's pure, foundational, and according to the text, incredibly purposeful. Or think about the oxygen you're breathing in right this very second. That's another element, functioning exactly as it was designed to. But what happens when those elemental building blocks meet up and actually lock together? Well, boom, you get a compound. A compound is formed when 2 or more elements chemically bond together. And when they lock together like this, they create something entirely new with totally different properties. Take table salt, for example. Scientists call it sodium chloride. It's made of sodium, which is a metal so reactive it literally explodes in water, and chlorine, which is a toxic green gas. But when they bond chemically, they perfectly neutralize each other to create the safe, delicious salt you put on your French fries. It's wild. Or consider water. 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom beautifully bonded together to give us the liquid that sustains all life on Earth.
Which brings us to Section 3, making sense of mixtures.
Now that we've covered our pure ingredients, the elements, and the chemically bonded compounds, let's look at what happens when things are combined physically, but not chemically. A mixture is exactly that. It's a combination of 2 or more substances that are just hanging out in the same space, but they aren't chemically bonded to one another. Sorting matter into mixtures is a really vital science skill. It helps you figure out how to separate materials and predict how they're going to react, whether you're in the lab or out in nature. And because the ingredients in a mixture aren't chemically locked together like a compound is, you can usually separate them back out if you know the right scientific tricks.
And this perfectly illustrates the 2 types of mixtures you'll encounter out in the world. First up, we have homogeneous mixtures. The prefix homo means the same. These are evenly mixed like salt water. If you look at a glass of salt water, everything blends perfectly. It just looks like one uniform liquid. You literally can't see the salt. On the flip side, we have heterogeneous mixtures. The prefix hetero means different. These have visibly separate parts. Think of a salad where you can easily pick out the tomatoes from the cucumbers, or a trail mix where the raisins, peanuts, and chocolate chips are all totally distinct.
Okay, let's put this into practice with a few review concepts from the text. First up, take a second to recall, what is an element and how is it different from a compound? Think about it. An element is pure, made of only one type of atom. A compound is when 2 or more of those elements chemically bond together to create an entirely new substance. Next question. Give an example of a compound and explain what it's made of. Remember our kitchen table example? Yeah, table salt, made of the elements sodium and chlorine locked tightly in a chemical bond. Or water, made of hydrogen and oxygen. You're literally surrounded by compounds every single day. All right, question 3. What is the difference between homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures? Let's test your memory real quick. Which one is the evenly mixed salt water and which one is the trail mix? Remember those prefixes. Homogeneous is evenly mixed, so it looks the same throughout. Heterogeneous has visibly different parts, so you can easily spot the ingredients. Oh, I love this next one. Question 4. Is air an element, compound, or mixture? Explain your reasoning. Seriously, take a deep breath in right now. What did you just inhale? Air is actually a mixture. It contains several different gases like oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide all mingling together without being chemically bonded. And since it looks completely uniform and evenly mixed to us, it is specifically a homogeneous mixture. Finally, question 5. The curriculum asks us, how does John 1:3 connect with the order of matter in creation? As you reflect on this, consider that atoms don't just act randomly. They follow precise, distinct laws of chemistry that allow our world to function perfectly. This ties right back to the text's core theme, presenting this incredible organization of matter as the blueprint of a purposeful maker. And that leads us to our final section, Section 4, Education, Morality, and Peace. So, the Heroes Smart Academy Godly Learners series philosophy teaches us that, well, being smart just isn't enough. Education without morality simply leads to bad choices that ultimately hurt people. Think about it. What's the point of knowing all about elements, compounds, and mixtures if you're making life choices that harm yourself or the people around you? True wisdom requires step 2, pairing your education with biblical morality. When you take your knowledge of how the world works and combine it with a strong moral compass, you are empowered to accomplish step 3, making good, constructive choices. And why exactly does the curriculum push so hard for these good choices? Well, it points directly to Romans chapter 8, verses 6 and 7, which promises peace of mind to everyone who maintains a spiritual mindset. According to the source material, aligning your life with moral choices, in the exact same way those atoms align perfectly to create the physical world around us, is the ultimate goal of this entire learning path. Keeping that spiritual mindset combined with your education guarantees peace of mind. So, I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative thought to ponder today. If the universe follows a divine, orderly blueprint, right down to the tiniest atom, are your daily choices building a life of order and peace? How will you use the ordered blueprint of your education to create a truly meaningful life? You've got the knowledge and you've got the moral compass. Now, it's totally up to you to build something beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep exploring the wonders around you, and I'll catch you next time.